Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Thank you for joining me. Today we are going to talk about 10 different transitional fragrances that are perfect from going from winter to spring. So spring is actually on Tuesday. This next Tuesday, March 19th is spring officially. So I picked out 10 different fragrance mists from my collection, and they're all Bath and Body Works, and I think that they are basically perfect for going from winter to spring. So I'm going to go ahead and share these fragrances with you. If you do like content like this, I would definitely love if you go ahead and take a moment and hit that subscribe button if you have not already. And yeah, I will be sharing 10 different fragrances, and we will go over the fragrance notes on each one. So I am definitely excited to share these with you guys. And some of them are a little bit older and some of them are available now. So it's kind of all over the board, but you may have some of these maybe in your collection left over as well. So yeah, we're just going to go ahead and get right into this. All right, so we are just going to go ahead and get started. So where I am right now, it's not like the best weather. It hasn't been super warm or anything like that. It's very cool where I am, especially when it just is hitting spring. It's still a little bit wintry. So I've picked out like 10 different transitional fragrances. So these are kind of not full spring fragrances. They're kind of going from like winter to spring. So they're kind of what I think is perfect for that kind of season. So the first one that I have to share with you guys is one that is coming back very, very soon. So this one actually was available last year, but it is going to be coming out probably within the next week or so even. So that's super exciting because a lot of people loved this fragrance. And I definitely think this is perfect to kind of wear from the winter into the spring. And this one is iced lemon pound cake. So definitely a good one. This is definitely more of a gourmand scent. So for everyone who likes those gourmand fragrances, this is definitely a very nice lemon type bakery scent. And it's super unique. Like I've never really smelled a whole lot of lemon bakery scents in body care. So a lot of people were excited when this came out last year, but now it is going to be coming out in new packaging for this year. And it smells so delicious. So the lemon definitely isn't too citrusy in this. It's more like a lemon glaze. So it's a very sugary kind of toned down lemon. And you do definitely get a cake note in here, and it's very like sugary sweet. So yeah, if you think of like a bakery, but yeah, it's kind of like a lemon bar, if you know what those are. I think like Starbucks has lemon bars as well. They sell those, but you can get lemon bars in other bakeries as well. And that's kind of what this gives me because it has that lemon, but then it has that like buttery note to it as well. And the fragrance notes on this one are sugary glazed icing, pure lemon zest, and fluffy pound cake. So yeah, definitely a cute little packaging too. So it is going to be in different packaging this year when it does come out. It's going to match the strawberry pound cake that just recently came out in the new packaging, and also the that cherry one. What was it? Sweet heart cherry. Yeah, so it's going to be in the same packaging as those. But yeah, ice lemon pound cake is definitely a nice one. So I definitely recommend this one because it's not like super heavy, but it's not super light either. So this one is really good for, you know, using kind of when it's cooler, but you know, it's not super cold. So that is like when this fragrance mist is going to do the best on your skin, most likely in this kind of weather. So, I mean, I know some of you guys probably are in places where it's a lot warmer than where I am, where some of these scents might be not as doable then, but this is kind of coming from my own personal opinion and where I am living. So, I would love if you go ahead and give me your transitional fragrances as well from winter to spring. Like, what are your favorites? So since we just talked about the cherry one, that one is also on my list. And this one just came out this last in the last few months. It came out for like Valentine's Day. So this one is Sweetheart Cherry. I love this fragrance, and I really think that this is perfect for moving from winter into spring because it's not too deep and it's not too light. And a lot of these are kind of like that, where it's not too deep, it's not too light, it's not like full on spring, yet it's not like in the midst of winter. And so it's kind of better for like a cool, kind of warming up type weather. So the fragrance notes on Sweetheart Cherry are wild cherry, crushed pistachio, and whipped vanilla. So yeah, this is definitely one of my favorites. If you guys have been watching my channel or anything, you know I love cherry fragrances. They go with my skin chemistry really, really well. And I don't know if that's just me or, you know, I know a lot of people don't like cherry scents. So, but to me, this one definitely does not come off medicinal at all. This is like a very sweet type cherry. And it's kind of, it's like a wild cherry for sure. It's like a deeper kind of cherry, which makes this like perfect for winter and then going into spring because it's like that wild cherry. So it's super sweet and it almost smells like a candied cherry in a way. And then you do pick up that pistachio, which gives it a little bit more depth. And the vanilla kind of just blends this whole fragrance out. So yeah, this was one of my favorites. When I picked this one up, it became one of my favorites very, very quickly. But again, this is like a good one to wear in this kind of weather right now where it's kind of warming up, but it's not, you know, very hot or anything, because this fragrance probably wouldn't do best in like high heat or anything like that. But this is like a really nice fragrance for transitioning into the spring right now because it is very, very kind of sweet and just, it kind of reminds you of spring, but then it's, you know, deeper and deep enough that, you know, it's good for the cooler weather as well. So yeah, I think this one's perfect for transitioning into spring. Definitely one of my favorites. Okay, so now we are going to move on to this one right here, which came out last year. This one actually has been around a few different times. I believe it came out in different packaging, but this one is Pastel Skies. And I know this is kind of a love or a hate for people. And when I first got this, I actually did not care for this one, but it grew on me. And I really do think it is kind of like a great transitional fragrance for right now because it really is, it's kind of heavy, but it's kind of light. So there's like kind of a marshmallow note almost in this that isn't super heavy marshmallow, but it's like a light type of berry marshmallow almost. So yeah, you definitely have to like kind of like a marshmallowy type scent for this one. And the berries are like super sugary type berries in this. So the fragrance notes on Pastel Skies are soft cloud berries, pink sponge sugar, and coconut musk. So it does kind of have that reminiscent like cotton candy type smell. But it's very, very sweet, but it's not like too sweet, I guess. Some people might say that this is too sweet, maybe though, because this is very sugary. And I mean, I do feel like I get like almost a marshmallow note in this, but it must be that sponge sugar. So it's kind of like a sponge sugar. It reminds me a little bit of the Cotton Candy Clouds one, but it's different at the same time. So if you guys have this one in your collection, this would definitely be a great time to pull this one out and start using it. Looks like they're not bringing it back for this spring, but since it did come out last spring, I still have one, and probably a lot of you guys still have this one. So definitely recommend this one for transitioning into spring and the beginning of spring before it gets too warm, because yeah, this one probably wouldn't do best in the warmest weather either. But it does smell really, really good, and it kind of is uplifting for the incoming of spring. and that one is Pastel Skies. So we are going to move on to a different one. So this one actually is available right now. They have this one in stores, and they're actually repackaging this one. So if it's not available right now, it definitely will be soon. So this one should be available in store and online. This one is Dahlia, and you guys know if you've been watching my channel that I definitely like fell in love with this one as well. This is such a nice scent. I am loving this scent. I picked it up for the first time this last winter, and it is such a great scent. And this is the perfect time to wear this scent because it's got like a really, it's got like a depth to it. So the fragrance notes on this one are velvet dahlia petals, crisp pear, praline musk, and whipped tonka bean. So it's got this depth to it, I think, from the whipped tonka bean and the praline, which makes it kind of, it's a good winter scent. Like I wore this in winter and I really enjoyed it. This is pretty long lasting, and it actually projects pretty well or it actually projects pretty well too. So yeah, but it does have that floral component in it that gives me kind of like a hint of spring. So yeah, florals kind of make me think of spring, but it's not like a full on, like blooming fresh floral fragrance. This definitely has like a creaminess and like a depth to it. So yeah, I think this is perfect for kind of the beginning of spring and getting into spring. But then once it gets warmer, this might not be the best one to wear. You might want to pull out more of your floral fragrances or fruity fragrances or something like that. But this like time between winter and spring definitely kind of makes me think of these gourmand type floral scents because they're creamy, so they're good for like winter, but yet they have that floral component in it that makes you kind of think of spring. And that's kind of what Dahlia does to me, is it gives me kind of like that spring hope, but it's got that creaminess and depth in it that is perfect for the cooler weather as well. All right, so moving on now, this one I mentioned when I was talking about Pastel Skies. So this one right here is Cotton Candy Clouds. And this actually came out last summer, but I think it's perfect for right now. So hear me out, because this one does have like a depth to it, yet it has those berries in it and spun sugar. So it is a little bit reminiscent of like a Pastel Skies type fragrance, but Pastel Skies is a bit different than Cotton Candy Clouds. So Cotton Candy Clouds has more of a like berryness to it and more of like a spun sugar, where to me Pastel Skies gives me almost like a fluffiness, like a marshmallow, and like a creaminess, where this one, Cotton Candy Clouds, is good, and you definitely get a spun sugar note in this and the berries, but it doesn't have that like marshmallowy depth to it. It's kind of got like a vanilla in it, though, it says. So the vanilla does kind of round this one out and kind of makes everything blend together. I think that's pink spun sugar along with the pink berries, and then it just combines it. And yeah, this one is perfect though for right now, like wearing it into the spring. To me, in the really high heat, like when I got this when it was summer, I thought it was a little bit too hot to wear this one because I like really kind of like lighter scents for summer and tropical scents and fruity, where this one does have like a depth to it. And that's why I think right now is the perfect time to pull this one out and use it. And it is like a sugary sweet. So, I mean, you do have to love that sugary sweetness, but it does smell so good. It's kind of uplifting too from that spun sugar to me anyways. But the fragrance notes on Cotton Candy Clouds are spun sugar, pink berries, and whipped vanilla. So yeah, this one, I love this one. I need to pull this one out more. I definitely need to pull it out right now because, yeah, in my opinion, this is a great transitional scent into spring. It just smells so good. It's got that depth. It's got the lightness. It's got the sugar. Yeah, I love this fragrance. All right, so moving on. Now, this one right here has a little bit more depth to it, I would say, but it does have that floral component as well in it. So I was thinking this one would be a really great one to pull out now too, before it gets too warm, because I definitely do not like to wear this one in the heat. This is the one. So I really like this one, but it does have like a woodiness to it, and it's more of like a perfumed rose. So to me, it doesn't do the best in high heat or anything like that. Like I wouldn't even want to pull this one out when it's like beyond, like 75 degrees, because this does have kind of like a perfume depth to it. And this one actually works really, really well in winter due to that. But since it does have like that floral element, it reminds me of, spring as well, and kind of getting out for spring. Okay, so the fragrance notes on this one are white birch, velvety rose, and a drop of strawberry nectar. Yeah, and then that little drop of strawberry nectar as well kind of makes it, perfect for the beginning of spring, transitioning from winter to spring. Yeah, this one's so pretty. I love this one. It's definitely kind of like a perfume. So if you're more into like a perfuminess, this could be the one that you're searching for, because it's definitely got more of a perfuminess. It kind of gives you more of like an elevated type feel. Like it's almost reminds me of like, like those department store perfumes, like walking into a department store and you smell those kind of perfumes. Like that's kind of what it gives me. But it is so good, and you get a tiny bit of strawberry in it as well. But for the most part, it's definitely the rose and the white birch. So like a little bit of woodiness. And I think the woodiness is kind of what elevates this one. But this one should be available right now. They do have this one, I believe, in stores and online if you are interested in You're the One. I really like this one. Even though I do traditionally like more gourmand and sweet scents, I think this is just a really nice fragrance mist because it is more reminiscent of like a perfume. Okay, and then moving on, this is one that has come out a few different times. So this one is called Whipped Rose and Vanilla. And this one has a floral component to it as well that makes me think of spring. Yet with that vanilla, it gives it more of like a sultry type depth to it as well. And this one actually was released previously as Whipped Rose Latte, I believe. And the fragrance notes on this one are crushed rose petals, cocoa flower, and whipped foam. So that whipped foam in here makes this one really, really good. I really like this one. And you do get like almost a bit of chocolate almost in a way, but I think it's that cocoa flower. But it's not super chocolatey or anything like that. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely a floral. So this is definitely more in the floral, floral scent category. But it has a sweetness to it. Like the rose is almost like candied. That's what it gives me, is like almost more of a candied type rose, like a rose type candy, because there is like a very sugary element to this. And that must be from the whipped foam and cocoa powder. Even though this is called Whipped Rose and Vanilla, it doesn't say that there's any vanilla note on the fragrance notes. But of course, I mean, there's more fragrance notes in this, I'm sure, than 3 fragrance notes. But but yeah, it's really nice. I really love this one. It's like a very sugary rose scent with like a depth to it, and that whipped foam really makes this one, I think. Okay, so that one was whipped rose and vanilla. So we only have a few more left. So the next one right here is blush cardigan. This one was one that came out last year and it did not come back this year, unfortunately. So this is a really nice raspberry scent, but it has like a depth to it. And I think that is why it's perfect for like a transitioning scent into spring, because it has that nice sweet berry note, yet it has like a depth to it as well. So blush cardigan has fragrance notes of sweet raspberries, sugar dipped violet, and warm amber. So personally, I don't get a whole lot of that violet in here, but it definitely is like a sugary raspberry. And it does have a little more depth, so the violet might be playing in there a little bit. But you do get that amber, and that's kind of what gives it the most depth. And it's a really nice fragrance. This is like a fruity fragrance, but it's toned way down. So it's like a, berries, but not like super fruity like how you imagine berries. It's more of like a toned down, almost like a creamy raspberry. But yeah, this one is really nice. Right now would be a perfect time to pull this one out while we're transitioning into spring. So it's like a creamy raspberry. So it has that depth from like winter, and then we're going into spring, and it does have that sugary berry scent. But I really love berry scents, and that's why I picked quite a few of them out of my collection for today, because berry scents are a really good transitional scent to me, in my opinion, because, berries coming into spring is just perfect to me. When I think of spring, I think more floral, but like berries are the perfect transitioning fragrance into spring for me and in my opinion. But let me know again what your favorites are, like what your favorite transitioning fragrances are from transitioning, from winter to spring. So I have another berry one here, so don't be surprised. So I have Among the Clouds. This one actually came out last year as well. So this one is not available anymore, but I mean, you could get it off Macari or somewhere like that, I'm sure. But the fragrance notes on this one are pretty basic. It's just wild berry skies and whipped vanilla clouds. So it is just really a berry fragrance, but to me, it's a really nice berry fragrance. So yeah, it's a really, really nice berry fragrance. You get those mixed berries, and the vanilla is definitely there as well. I think this is one of my favorites because in reality, like berry scents could be used for any season. And this berry scent to me really could be used for any season. Like I have actually used a bit of this, but yeah, it's a really nice berry scent. This is like one of my favorite berry scents, I think. But yeah, they did not bring this one back this year. So I think they actually recently sold it out at the last SAS. They were like getting rid of all the Among the Clouds. But yeah, I really like Among the Clouds. It's just like a safe berry choice. Like some people might say that this is very basic, but I mean, that's kind of nice sometimes. And it's just a really nice berry fragrance. So it almost kind of smells like the berries and then like whipped cream or something like that. Okay, so we only have one more left, guys. We are almost there. So the last one that I'm going to pull out and show you guys today for transitioning into spring is this Fresh Vanilla Blossoms. So this one, I wasn't the hugest fan when this came out, but I was thinking this would actually perform a lot better in spring. This one came out in fall, and I really think that that was almost the wrong time of year for this one. The fragrance notes on this one are suede petals, soft sandalwood, and vanilla bean. And it's a nice fragrance. Like there is something a little bit off-putting about it, and I've heard that from other people as well. But if you can get past that, it actually is a really nice fragrance, especially once it settles down. So I get the most like off-putting type spray right at first. But then once it kind of settles down, it becomes this kind of nice vanilla type sandalwood fragrance, and you do get like a little bit of petals in there, but it's definitely not super floral. Like I almost get more of the sandalwood than any kind of floral element in this. But it's definitely like a vanilla, and you definitely have like a sandalwood in here to add some depth. But yeah, this one is perfect to me for kind of transitioning into spring. Like it's not going to be the best on, you know, a really, really nice hot day or something. But when it's cooler and then you're going into that sunny weather, like this one is definitely perfect. Yeah, I really enjoy this one. And it's actually kind of surprising because it does kind of have a little bit of an off-putting note that you do have to get used to. So yeah, I know, you know, some people did not care for this one, but yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna like this one a lot more in the beginning of spring. So that's why I wanted to share it with you guys again. So if you have it in your collection, you can go ahead and remember it and pull it out and use it. So that is all, guys. That was my 10 fragrances that are perfect for transitioning from winter to spring. So again, let me know what your favorites are from either my choices, or you can let me know also what are your favorite transitioning fragrances for like transitioning into spring. I would love to know, and go ahead and comment below. Again, if you do like this kind of content and you have not yet subscribed, go ahead and take a moment and hit that subscribe button. If you did enjoy this video, go ahead and give me a big thumbs up. And I love you guys so much. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I will see you in the next video.